Welcome to Caregivers Haven podcast, a podcast dedicated to helping families who are caregivers of a loved one with a mental illness gain peace of mind. Even though this is a podcast focused on family caregivers of the mentally ill, much of the discussion can be helpful to any caregiver. Your host is Sandra, your caregiver nurse consultant who, as a family caregiver, shares her passion for helping others and her lived experiences as a caregiver to provide education, support, and resources to other families. Sandra is a registered nurse, and many of her guests are healthcare professionals. However, this is not a professional podcast, nor will be associated with any mental health counseling or medical doctor. Please seek help with a professional provider if needed.
Hey caregivers, how's it going? I hope that you've all been well and that you've been taking care of yourselves, taking some time to rest. I had a little bit of a rough month last month, but it didn't take me down because during difficult times or like when I'm struggling with something, I just try to remember what puts a smile on my face, what makes me happy, and like what calms me. And it just helps me kind of like reset through those challenges, reset like, when we're going through challenges and just kind of calm myself down. And so in today's episode, I'll be sharing with you one of the things that makes me smile and what calms me down in difficult situations. And as caregivers, it's just really, really important for us to know what that is because sometimes we get so caught up in helping other people that we forget to take care of ourselves to the point that we may even forget what makes us smile, what brings us joy. We're so busy trying to make sure that somebody else is happy and somebody else is comfortable and someone else is not in pain and someone else is smiling. But what about us? We forget sometimes. We may have been so tired and sad for so long that we just forget what makes us smile, or maybe we haven't had anything to smile about for a long time, so we literally forget. We may even forget like what our hobbies are, what fun things we like to do. And that literally has happened to me before, like probably more times than I'd like to think about. And sometimes it catches us off guard. Like we don't really know, we may not even really know that we have forgotten, or we may not really know that we haven't taken any time out for ourselves until someone brings it to our attention. And for me, like a while back, I was at a workshop and we were discuss. I don't remember what we were discussing, but they wanted us to write down what our hobbies are and what clothes we like, what we like to do to have fun, and like where we shop. And believe it or not, I had a hard time answering those questions. Um, I could tell you where my kids like to shop. I could tell you where I shop for my grandkids or what my husband likes. But man, I had a hard time thinking about my own personal likes and dislikes. I had a hard time thinking about anything regarding me. Um, and I used to love to read. I used to have hobbies, and I just realized that I hadn't been doing any of those things. So I obviously hadn't been practicing good self care because when we're practicing good self care, we're going to remember to take care of ourselves. We're going to remember us. We're going to remember the things that we like to do, the things um, that bring us joy. We're going to remember to do those things. And so um, I just was not practicing good self care, good self love. So I just really had to step back and try to remember like what puts a smile on my face, what brings me joy. And so I know I'm not the only one who struggles with this because one day when I was in support group, we were sharing like what we do to relax. And I said, well, sometimes at home I light scented candles and it calms the whole house, not just me. It just seems like everybody starts speaking quieter and it just seems to have like a really calming effect on the household. And someone said, oh my gosh, I never thought to do that. And I was thinking, wow, I was thinking to myself, and then said, well, that's not really a big deal. But then it was really impressive for this person. And why was it a big deal? It was a big deal. It was a big deal to them, mainly because they said that they just hadn't relaxed in so long. They said it had been a really, really long time since they relaxed. They hadn't taken time out for themselves. And so it's really just like the small things that can bring a smile to our face, the small things that can help us relax. But if we don't remember what those things are, we can't even do those things. So my biggest thing, you guys will find out about me, my biggest thing that I like to do is go to the beach. Um, I grew up in Southern California, and where we lived, it was only about 4 miles away from the beach. So I went to the beach a lot growing up, and I love the beach to this day. And my kids love the beach. You know, we were always at the beach. And it's like, I consider the beach my refuge, my haven, my place of rejuvenation, my place of meditation. I now live about like 45 minutes from the nearest beach, but my family and I, we go as much as we can. Sometimes I go alone. I love the beach. Today I actually drove down by the beach. I had to drop someone off at the airport, and I just drove down and, just drove down the coach for a while. A lot of times when I go, I just sit, I take a chair and a blanket. Sometimes I lay down, sometimes I sit a while, sometimes I get in the water, sometimes I take a nap. Um, I love to get in the water. The water, it just seems to have like so much energy. And I guess water does have energy. Just think about that big ocean, like in constant motion. And I don't know, sometimes I get my feet wet, but sometimes I do get in like a big kid, and just play around in the water. But it's just that quiet, peaceful time at the beach. It's just very calming for me. Sometimes me and my husband, we actually go to the beach at nighttime. And you're talking about quiet, like at nighttime, it's just the stars and the sound of the ocean. It's dark. There's usually not a lot of people there. We're not the only ones who go at nighttime though, so there are other people there. But it's just, oh my gosh, just like staring at the stars and only hearing the ocean. Not a lot of people talking, and just the breeze blowing across your face. It is like so relaxing. That's just my favorite time. Just so quiet and peaceful. And so it's a form of meditation for me going to the beach. I don't know, I just sit and stare and clear my mind. I just let my mind rest without a whole lot of lights around me, a whole lot of noise going on. It really, it like really, really allows my mind to reset. Um, but that's my go-to place. I just I just love the ocean. I just love it. Some of you might be thinking, well, I don't live near a beach, or I don't like the water. And that's okay. I'm just sharing what calms me, and where I go for my meditation. And I just want to encourage you to think about what brings you some quiet and peaceful time. It's going to be different for everybody, but just think about it, because like I said, sometimes we forget. We literally forget where that place is. And so just think about what you like to do to relax. I mean, for some of you, it might just be going to the park and sitting like quietly in your backyard. When my kids are little, there's just always noise and chatter and running around. Like, I have 4 kids, and I have nieces and nephews, and then my kids have friends. So my house is just always full of people and noise. And I mean, I loved it. My husband and I, we love kids. We'd be having like all the youth ministry over and all of that. But when they were in school during the day, if they were in school and I was off work, I would literally just sit on the couch and turn off no TV, no radio, just sit on the couch and be quiet for a while. And that was so energizing for me, because our brains are there to think and work, but our brain also needs some quiet time. It also needs time to relax. It needs to just take a break from constant thinking and constant noise. So that was very, very energizing for me to just sit and be quiet, just for a little while. So for you, it may not be the beach, but just my point of sharing all this is just so you to start thinking about what calms you and what puts a smile on your face. And once you figure that out, do it often. Because again, as caregivers, we forget. We forget to take care of ourselves. Our focus is usually on the person that we're providing care for. And I'm telling you, you will be a better person. You'll feel energized. You'll feel better if you take time to take care of yourself. So that you can continue to take care of the person of your family that you're taking care of. So just, I mean, again, just let your brain relax. I read a book once, and the author talked about the 3 R's, which is rescue, repair, and rejuvenate. And she said that our bodies, our brain, and our central nervous system, it needs time to reset. And it can rescue, repair, rejuvenate, and reset itself, but we have to give it a chance. And we have to do that by eating right and by resting and meditating. So our bodies can do it, but we need to give it a chance. We're a lot of us are in go 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 mode. We keep ourselves in this hyper dopamine state. The fight or flight. We're just like in this constant excited state. And it's not good to stay there because it messes up the balance in our bodies. It messes up like our cortisol and all of that stuff, meaning that eventually we're going to poop out. We're going to get too tired and we're not going to be able to continue. And so in order for us to continue to take care of our family members and our loved one, we have to remember to, I say rest, relax, and rejuvenate. And she said rescue, repair, and rejuvenate. We have to remember to do that. It's so important. And we'll be giving our better self to our loved one as we do that. So as I close, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what you do to relax, what you do to meditate. How do you find that calm place? So it would be great to hear from you. And it may help someone else who's listening. Just like I shared, in my support group about the candles, I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but it really helped several people in there. So it doesn't matter how big or small, and it doesn't have to be anything that costs money. It's just, what do you do to be calm? And so between now and the next episode, you can send me a message here in Anchor. So if you're listening from the Anchor app, you can send me a message and just let me know. Let me know what you like to do to relax, what you like to do to be calm. I'd love to hear from you. Make me happy. Send me a message. Okay, so that's it for today. And until next time, Caregivers Haven is wishing you peace of mind.
You can find Sandra on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Caregivers Haven. If you enjoyed listening to Caregivers Haven podcast, please share, subscribe, follow, and favorite.